Hi there, fabric nerds. It's Wednesday, but this is not live. I know, sorry to say, this is Andrea coming to you from the Quilting Shed in a not live. We're gonna try something different today before we get back to our regularly scheduled things because of life events and things that have happened over the holidays. We're gonna skip that though for you this time. Yes, the Quilting Shed here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. We have had some new things come in over the past few weeks, and while we're trying to get back to our regularly scheduled events, I know I repeated that phrase, I just thought today, even though it was Wednesday, and we're totally running late anyway, like if you could see the actual time I'm recording this, you'd be like, no wonder you did, girl, no wonder you did not do a live, because yeah, you just be trying too hard. Anyway, so we did get some new things in. They are priced, they are ready to go. They're on the shelves. I don't know if they're showing on the website yet, but we will make it happen as soon as possible. Yes, we ship, and yes, you can buy it online by visiting our website, clicking to put it in your cart, and going through the checkout with your credit card. It's just that easy. None of this, can I send you an e-transfer? And then you gotta like dick around with that and the back and the forth and whatever. You just go to the cart, stick it in there. It's like Amazon, except you're shopping local. Like, how good is that? So the funny part of when your life upends itself and you run a business and you have suppliers that you order from, you put things in the cart as you think of it because you intended to check out in a reasonable time frame. But by the time you get back to it, it's well after Christmas. So you get some good Christmas things that come in after Christmas. But I got them for you at a great price. For some of them, yeah. I only have one copy of this. This is Jingle Quilt, a pieced and appliqué, it says piece and appliqué, a holiday heirloom. Instruction booklet and full-size patterns. If you love appliqué, and this looks needle turned, whoa, yeah, this is, I've had some of her patterns before in here, and these are quite the, I mean, look at that. If you like doing that sort of thing, and bless your heart, because that is too much for my hands. But this is, when I was a long arm quilter, this was the kind of quilt that I got excited about quilting custom, because it's very fun to custom quilt with all the fun things on this. And wow, look at like some of these big, that's a big piece of fabric, but you get your quilter in there, or you get some quilting in there, and you get some nice big medallions or something in there. So this is a whopping $15. There's only one copy left. That is for you. Annie's Quilting, they've been putting out a lot of really good books, and we did get this year's Christmas book. It's called Merry Quilted Christmas. We do have multiple copies of this, and it is at a fabulous price of $14. Like, it says Christmas, but honestly, honey, there is some really nice regular winter things. I've told many people that I do the bulk of my Christmas sewing in January and February. I've got my Christmas spirit. Now I have time to actually do stuff, and I'm not on a timeline. And I just wanted to show you some of the things that we in the store thought was great. Now this is, the block is called Snail Trail, but you do it in red and green. It's very holiday. It's giving me elf shoes. But if you did this in like a 2 shades of blue and like a sparkly silver, my tree at home was blue and silver. We did get a tree up. We got that far. But yeah, there are some great things in here that we really like. Stars and Swirls. They did these in red and green. You could go through your Christmas scraps. You know, you could do this in any color scheme, and it's not just Christmassy. You could just, you know, deplete your scrap bin, because this takes all kinds of scraps and shades. And this one, I had never seen a quilt like this before. That's got the bells. Carol of the Bells right there in a quilt.
It has all the bells and whistles.
It has all the bells and whistles. Thank you. Our manager once again is on standby. Another lovely runner. Like, they did this in golds and greens and reds, but imagine it in blues. Imagine it in a spring color scheme. We've got Valentine's Day fabrics in. I'm not showing you those today. I've shown them to you, I think, in another post. But yeah, you could do that Valentine's, and yeah, like, this has this present block in it, and let me tell you, right before Christmas, I hunted down on the internet for a present pattern block because I wanted to make a pillow for the shop couch. I got the block done. I didn't get anything else done. Yeah, and of course it makes a 12-inch finished block, which is exactly what I was looking for. And here it was in this book that was on order. And a tree skirt. Cute little tree skirt with little ornaments on it. But this was our favorite. These mittens. I know, how cute is that? You don't have to make them red and green. Imagine them all like bright, scrappy colors for mittens for nice winter quilts. Especially if you have winter sports themed fabrics.
Also good for the plaids.
Also good for your plaid stash and your checks that you don't know what to do with. There are some plaids and checks on the sample too. Now imagine, because it's an 8-inch finished block, imagine how cute that would be in a mug rug. You make a little mug rug for somebody, give them a nice little like new mug and some hot chocolate. Perfect little Galentine's friend gift. So yeah, like 14 whole bucks. And I mean, I've seen individual patterns of some of these quilts go for more than 14 bucks. So this is a very good deal, I should say. Speaking of more patterns and more mugs, say there was only one or two that you really liked. We got in more of the Villa Rosa Designs pattern cards, and these are only $3. Baking Day, like that's gingerbread men. Those are very plain gingerbread men, but we thought for those of you who like to embroider, machine or otherwise, like how ripe is that for embellishment? I mean, the things you could do on this, like if you have a Memento machine and you like the iron-on vinyl, you could put the faces on with that. If your embroidery skills are crap like mine, my machine embroidery skills are improving, but yeah, you could personalize these for family members. And again, you could make just one block and make it into something else. What does this take? 9 fat quarters of cookie fabrics or 2 yards. Like if you have like a lot of browns in your stash, this is really cool. It doesn't take yeah, okay. I'm looking at the back, sorry. So yeah, this is great. You can do a lot of fun with that. Again, with the hot cocoa. I only had like half a cup of tea this morning, so I need to go make me some cocoa. This I am excited for. We are definitely going to make a sample of this. I don't know if it's going to be me or Susan. We'll argue about this on Saturday, Susan, sorry. This nice Easter bunny, what's it called? Bunny ears snack mat. Yes, 2 fabrics. We've got some Easter fabrics in. That's going to be great. I pulled this one out because who doesn't love a nice blue and white quilt? Sweater weather. It's winter. It's going to be winter here till like April. Like, come on. It's winter in Canada. Yeah, you got time to make this and use it. And somewhere in there, oh yeah, everyone's Irish in March. Ha! The shamrock mat. I do believe we have some shamrock fabric coming. Don't know if it's this month or next month. I don't know. I haven't finished my spreadsheet.
We also have white on white clovers.
We do have white on white clovers. But you do have
3 bolts of it.
3 bolts of it.
2.
2 bolts. Okay. Yeah, we'll promote that more closer to
Letting people know.
St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, we have our tone-on-tone whites are very extensive, and we have actually a tone-on-tone white with clovers all over it. Most of them are 3-leaf clovers. There might be a 4-leaf clover hiding in there, but also I know many of you have greens in your stashes and you only need 8 5-inch squares and you'll trim them down a little. I'm fudging the exact the exact square size because we like to respect our pattern copyright. So I'm not gonna tell you how to build this. You'll have to buy it. While we're all dreaming for spring, you can make a lovely tulip flowers from table runner. I can hear my mom now. She's probably going to leave me a comment later that says that would make me a really nice present, Andrea. Yep. And this one, the Buzzy Bee snack mat. Now with these snack mat patterns, honestly, just make a few more blocks and you've got a runner, make lots of blocks and you've got a quilt. Alternate them with your other favorite quilt block that you like and you've got a full-size quilt right there.
Imagine the tulips and the bees together.
Imagine the tulips and the bees together, says Snowy. Do these in matching fabrics and are the blocks the same size? Dun, 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 dun. Let me check. 8.5 on that one. 8.5. Yeah, these both make 8-inch blocks. There you go. You're a smart cookie. Your parents must be so proud.
I've been told that a couple
You've been told that. And again, speaking of spring, I might have shown you this before, but I'm showing it to you again. This is a lovely panel for $10 for spring, for Easter. Nice cross, purple, yellow, nice pansies in there. So you get your thinking for that. I know many of you work in your churches, and this is the kind of thing you like to hang up in the church at Easter. You have time to work on this for whole $10. And we did get this label panel in. The label project from Moda. The panel is $20 and there's 35 labels. And you're like, I don't make that many quilts, I just want one. We will also sell them individually for like, I think we said like $1 a piece.
about.
Yeah, $1 a piece. We haven't cut any apart yet, but we have some label panels fully ready to go and we're ready to slice and dice them. But I think we have them in the system as like buy 4.
Yeah.
Buy at least 4 and you can get them for like $1 a piece. You don't have to buy the whole panel is what I'm saying. But right now online, you do have to buy the whole panel, I think is what's listed.
It's not showing up on the website.
It's
though.
not showing up on the website yet. It will. Do you have your to-do list for today? Because there's an item. Snowy does have a to-do list. Lori Holt's Prairie Home book. This came in. This was released while I was running back and forth to hospitals and things. The Prairie Home by Lori Holt. This is another one of her books, and I actually have 3 or 4 of her books in my house, in my own personal stash. They are great for scrap projects. This one is absolutely huge. It has over 250 pages, and I think this is the funniest. Long red underwear. This does showcase one of her pattern lines, but as always, if you know her and love her, there are multiple projects in here with multiple different blocks, and wow, that prairie bonnet quilt is actually really cute. Sorry, I have to show you this one. Lots of blocks that you can use just individually in one quilt, or you can combine the blocks into a sampler quilt, which she often gives you instructions for, and socks. This is just fantastic. It is a little on the pricier side. It's mason jars, bears, maple leaves, 16 patches, pumpkins. Oh my goodness, little covered wagons. Yeah, lots of good stuff in here. It is a little pricier, like I said, it is $63, but many of you got gift cards for Christmas. This is gift card worthy. This is a very nice present. So if you got a gift card for Christmas, bring it in, get this book if this is one of the things on your wish list, because yeah, I could see people using this for a long, long time, like not just making the exact quilts in the book, but using the blocks in them as inspiration for other quilts. So before I finish up, the last thing I want to show you is one of my favorite old school quilting experts, product line developer, TV show host, Eleanor Burns from the 90s. I cannot believe she is still going strong, and my supplier was, I don't know if they were clearing things out or what, but you know, when my supplier has a sale on things and it's something I like, I pass on the savings to you because I'm just that nice. So I did what I could here, and a lot of these I have previously kept in stock anyway. So we have more of some of the same and some more extras, but it's Eleanor Burns, so they are very good products. If you are a beginner quilter or you feel you're not very experienced, her instructions are very well written. The rulers are nice and clear. They have very clear markings with big numbers. I mean, Eleanor's like what, in her 90s? So she uses these things. And I'm sure her vision is great. Like this has a clear background, but you can kind of see through the window. Look how big those numbers are. Yeah. So this is a 9.5-inch squared up ruler, and maybe you don't know this, but it doesn't have to be a 9.5-inch square block. It has the lines on here, you can kind of see them here, for smaller blocks, because you only cut 2 corners at once, and then you flip your block, and then you do the other 2 corners, and you line up with the inner lines here. Someday I'll do a video. I have a long list. So that's the square up ruler. If you need a, ruler to square up your quilt blocks, which you should be doing, this is highly recommended, $23.50. If you do a lot of triangles though, we have the 9.5-inch triangle squared up ruler. It has a lot of instructions with it to help you square up your half square triangles and your quarter square triangles. I find this size is very good for anything, say, it does have markings here for smaller squares, but I find it mostly useful for the 5.5-inch and up for larger ones. I find this one the most useful. I use a different ruler for smaller than 5-inch blocks. This one is the larger triangle in a square. If you've ever seen this like 60-degree triangle, it's not quite 60, I don't think, but it's a triangle in a square kind of a block, and it is best done with a ruler like this. You see 2 lines there, there's 2 rulers in there, they're kind of offset. But it's for this block right here. And that block is usually used within a bigger block to make like spiky stars and things. It's I am surprised at how often I use this sort of set of rulers. I own a smaller set in my stash, which you are free to try if you come here for Finish It Up Fridays. We are still running Finish It Up Fridays, $10 on a Friday. Bring your sewing machine, bring some of your supplies, bring the project you're working on. I will let you use my copy of this ruler if that's the thing you're working on. This is also $23.50, yeah. And a $30 package of Fussy Cut Trio rulers in 3 sizes. You want to fussy cut a little tiny block to go into a bigger block? It's so cute, and it doesn't have markings to get in your way, but it does have the markings for the center of the block, which is a pain if you don't have those. Trust me. Now, I haven't used these. I know people love them. I probably should use them, but they are the log cabin rulers. I got them in because I know people have been asking. They are both $25. This one is 2.5-inch wide. So if you have a jelly roll, you don't know what to do with it, you could do log cabins. Here's a ruler to help you. Yes, makes it easy. Don't really have to think about it.
And it's all coordinated because it's a jelly roll.
And it's all coordinated because it's a jelly roll. And it tells you actually how to do it with a jelly roll, with the instructions. It's not just here's a ruler, no instructions. Eleanor Burns tells you how to use that actual ruler in a project. That is why we love her. We stand Eleanor Burns, yeah. And this one has 2 sides on it. 2 sides like a left and a right. So you can do smaller strips. So you would just measure with your cut edge on this inner line here on either side, depending on how tiny of a strip you're doing. This side, of course, as we know, that's my side. I like it tiny, sorry. 1 1/8 and 1 3/4 inch logs. Yeah, this is up my alley, although I will say if I'm doing a log cabin this tiny, I want to paper piece it. But if I didn't feel like this was not feeling up for the paper piecing, or my pieces were too small and I really wanted to use them, because I oversize my cut pieces when I'm paper piecing personally. But if I thought they were a bit too skimpy for that, I would use a ruler like this, because we can sew a short line over a straight line over a short distance. I can do that, you can do it, it's fine. I'm gonna sew a straight line, it's only gonna be a short distance. You can do it, I believe in you. $25? Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, we're getting there. So the other thing I've had before from Eleanor Burns that I really like, she does do patterns. She does Quilt in a Day books. I've got a couple I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show you some of these patterns because they have an acrylic template included. We call them rollers. They don't have markings, they don't measure anything, so technically they're templates if you like to be very specific. So this is the Braid in a Day. Braid in a Day, so you can make this quilt in a day. It's a very long day, but it's a day. Get together with a friend. It has the template in it, this piece right here, to cut the specific pieces for the braids on the inside with less waste. And she shows you how to do this using, again, a jelly roll. If you don't have a jelly roll, but you have lots and lots of scraps, just start going through them and cut 2.5-inch strips. I can assure you, you throw them all in here and get some other fabrics for the borders to tie it all together, it will look fine. it can be super scrappy. You can de-stash with something like this. And it's a whopping $14. It's a pattern and a template. Like, that's actually pretty darn good.
The value is incredible.
The value is incredible. And it gives you instructions in here from a baby quilt all the way up to a king size. So, yeah. Baby, lap, twin, queen, king. And it tells you exactly what you need for all the extras and how many strips you will need for the inner braids. So that's a steal. If you really want to go traditional though, this one is the Dresden plate quilt, and I can feel it in here. It has the little Dresden plate template. And I have a funny story, and I can tell you this story because I am pretty sure all the ladies that were in this quilt group are now dead. And I'm the only one alive who can tell this story. No disrespect to them intended. So this will make a finished block size 12-inch square. This Dresden plate, very, very traditional. And if you are very old school, you remember that there would be little quilting groups around and they would get together, just members of the community really. And in one community where I lived, they had a little group like this where they would get together once a month or so and go through all these donated scraps, and they would make Dresden quilt blocks. And eventually when they got enough together, they were all hand stitched. They had a cardboard template that they used for years and years and years. And they would just trace around the template onto the fabric with a pencil and trace around for a seam allowance as well. Now, I need to double check to see how many Dresden petals are supposed to be in a block, but I know at the time when I worked with this group, the cardboard template they were using had worn down so much that their template required 19 petals. Ideally, you would like a nice even number. If you look here, there we go. So the good thing about a plastic template is you're not wearing down those edges as you trace or cut around them. There was one fateful day where I was showing them how to use a rotary cutter and a ruler to cut things out, and one lady actually kind of got in a snit and she said, well, I guess I'm not needed then, and then wanted to leave. And we had to pull her back and say, yes, she could learn a new technique and we could maybe finish these faster and help more people. Thus began my customer service type interactions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 20. You should have 20 petals in a Dresden plate. I don't know why they wound up with 19. I stopped trying to figure it out. But anyway, $12.50, you get a traditional pattern, Eleanor Burns, and a template. I know. I mean, it's worth it just to have it on hand. You never know. And this one, I have a sample quilt sort of like this. It did not use this exact pattern, but it's close enough. It is the pineapple quilt. Yes. This is actually very close to the one that I made in the shop out of all the reds and creams. And you can see it in our FAF sewing machine display area. But Eleanor Burns pineapple quilt. There is not a template in with this because you don't need one. Because Eleanor Burns will tell you quite nicely how to do this. And it's what? It's $10. It's $10?
Yes.
Holy crap. That's amazing. And we have a lot of these. We have a lot of these. Look it, this is your chance. You just pick a nice background. I love it on the black. Here it is with a white background and a green border. Wow, this is amazing. What did she use? Does not have the yardage requirements on the back. Probably a jelly roll or scraps. We'll figure it out when you come in to buy this, because I know you will, because it's only 10 bucks. Like, come on, that's insane. Wow, that's nuts. Another thing people are working on is a wedding ring quilt. Here we have the wedding ring, traditional pieced. This has just got, each ring is one slice of fabric. You don't have the little wedges. But actually, if you get the accompanying Eleanor Burns templates, it does have the wedge in there should you want to use the wedges, but it has that nice ring size arc there, and the square and the triangle bit and the wedge to make these blocks. I have double checked this is exactly the ruler that you need that goes with this. Inside here, she also gives you an outline if you wish to make your own templates. But again, like I just said, sometimes when you make your own templates, you can run the risk of them not being quite so accurate. So this is very good to have with it because, you know, it's really hard to mess up the edges of the plastic. You can slice into these with a rotary blade, and it's better to slice this than your finger. $23.50 for the templates, $10 for the pattern. Again, this is nuts. That's kind of nuts. We did get a few of these too, I think. Yes, we did. So I'm almost done going through the absolutely fantastic things we have. So like I said, Eleanor Burns Quilt in a Day, we do have 1 copy each of these spectacular quilts. Oh wow, this is actually pretty good. This is a scrappy one called Nana's Garden. There's only 1 copy. She does give you multiple size options. It is a quilt in a day. It will use up all your scraps. Here it is with all her floral prints out of her stash bin, and it didn't matter. They were all dense florals of, say, a medium value. She just threw them all together. Did not matter what color. You're going through your stash. You're saying, I have enough fabric. You could do something like this. It's $20. Get together with your friends. Sometimes she puts recipes in here. She does. She tells you how to plan everything. Like, yeah, it is Quilt in a Day. Quilt designed by Sharon Wu. So it's not actually Eleanor speaking to you in this book, but it is through Eleanor's Quilt in a Day stuff. Wow, planned. She shows you how to do these planned and scrappy. You don't have to cut a tiny bit of squares. This is all strip piecing and very, very easy. She walks you through this very clearly. Wow, it's almost like having me there too. I know. This is the Winning Hand quilt from Eleanor Burns. Also a good way to use up scraps. Slightly bigger pieces. This block is also known as Card Tricks. That's why they call it Winning Hand. So lots of ways how to do this one. How to quilt it, how to square it up, how to piece it. She does everything assembly line. That's why I love her. Very good to have. That one's $11.50? That's nuts.
Yes.
That's crazy. $11.50. Jeez. Laura Koya, we met her at Quilt Canada last year before, 2023. She's very nice. She was very happy to meet me too. She didn't even know who I was. But anyway, Laura Koya, you have seen her on YouTube with So Very Easy. We've had her books before. She knows her stuff. She's the host of the YouTube channel So Very Easy, and this is one of her books. It is really easy quilt. My Google, I hope you can't hear that. My Google Nest is doing reminders for me right now.
They totally can. You might want to set that over.
That's fine. So here we go. All of these quilt projects are in this book, and I believe we only have one. And it is $15. Really? Really? It's $15? That's $15. Make one of every quilt in this book. Your stash is like so depleted. So depleted. And this one seems like a weird one. This is the last thing I'm going to show you today that is on sale. This was regularly $18.99 in Canada. And the time, yeah, most people would say the time for face masks is over, but honestly, we probably should be still wearing them, and we've got a sign that if you've got a cold, please wear a mask when you come in. Just to talk about my husband for a tiny wee bit, he will be undergoing some chemo later this year probably, so when he does that, we will be a little stricter, at least with masks on ourselves. But here is a sewing book about masks, but other things like scrub caps, baby tag blankets, memory care fidget. If you do a lot of like healthcare sewing, this is very awesome for stuff like that. And that is on sale for $10. And I'm gonna wrap it up because the UPS guy is here. So come on down and see me. We are back to our regularly scheduled hours, and I will see you later. Bye.